There. This is an unboxing. This has come from the UK via, well, a company based in America. And this is the Artemis Project. So, let me show you what it's all about. This is just an unboxing. It's not going to be a how-to. It's going to be a brief overview. But this is the latest game from Grand Gamers Guild that I'm reviewing. And this, as it reveals a little bit, is to do with space and basically, to a degree, terraforming. As you can see, there is a level of ice and you are underwater. You're starting off down there and you're building a research station up here as well. So this is by a couple of designers, obviously just a single artist there. And there's a few things to consider. Firstly, about weighing it, I have already played a version of this with sort of the deluxe pieces, and I'm curious to see if it does have these in here. I don't think it does. Those pieces are pretty heavy. You'll see what I'm referring to. But this is the Artemis Project. So let me open it and I'll show you what it's all about. Now, there are some games, one game in particular, that is extremely highly received in the gaming community called Terraforming Mars, with a plethora of expansions. And this one's a bit further afield, and we're in Jupiter. And I'm not sure the history as to when they were terraforming Mars, but you think they'd start in Mars and then head to Jupiter, hence 2, 3, 4, 8. And it's a 1 to 5 player game. It says 60 minutes to 75 on the box. Our first game had about 40 minutes of rules explanation from somebody who learned the rules. And it took us about 3 hours, although having said that, one guy in particular did take a long time. He did end up winning the game, and the scores, just whilst I'm still doing this, were quite close, 30 to I think 41. So it reminds me a bit of K2, this kind of layout, but this is all about victory points. We can gain them. These shields, which I kind of half alluded to about the sort of deluxe edition, the Kickstarter kind of stuff. And yeah, you're looking to get victory points. It's a dice placement game. You'll be rolling dice and be placing them in certain locations, and they can activate things. They can activate more people. You can get more resources. You use those resources to buy buildings, complete missions, and you can have some secret directives. I say directives because you want to say objectives, but it is directives written down. So these are those sort of missions that you could choose to go on. They require certain things. So here we go. I'm quite glad about this, and it's important for weighing because I'm likely to be cycling with this and playing it a few times this week. And in this version of the game, you get these tokens to show that you've achieved some missions, and the missions then give you victory points, or basically these these shields. Now, it's a set collection part for this thing in particular. So the more you have, the more points you can get. But in the other version of the game, they're metal. They're very nice when they're metal, but they are heavy. And that's why cycling, I was more than happy to receive a retail version of this game. Here are some cards to do with some things you can be trying to complete. It's over 6 rounds, and the first 3 are going to be underwater, the top 3 above. Here are the cubes that I referred to that are for resources. They go in that stack there. And then you've got some other cubes which will be down here. So it's all quite nicely laid out, as you can see. Obviously, my name's Simon Lavender, and this is Amass Games, and lavender is the colour that I've been using when I played before. These are certain events that come out in the game as well, and what you're looking to do is trying to make sure that either if it's a negative or a positive, it's something that is either helping you or stopping you from, being a hindrance. So in this instance, it happens in phase E, and a certain thing's going to happen. And when we played it, we didn't go through all the cards, but we did go through all the objectives. So that's there too. Only thing I'm looking for now are there some tiny little cards for the hidden objectives, which might be different in this version of the game. So if I can't see anything, you'll see that when I do the full run through. You've also got other things in here, such as backpacks. They let you add or subtract from the die roll, 1 for each backpack or medikit. And I'll give you the full terminology when you play the game. You're going to use these per player, as you can probably tell from the colours. These little men, these are what you can do to do extra things with. going on certain missions, I think in this colour in particular, you can actually help sort of sabotage somebody else, hence red. And if you've played 5 Tribes and seen the other video, that makes sense. And here are the standard guys, I think they're called Pioneers. And you've got some other chaps over here. And this is the first player token, it looks like. In the other version, it's a big 3D printed sort of mini, which is probably about this kind of big. It's a pretty big beast, definitely can't miss it. And yeah, other things you can do is obviously when I show you the video, when you do complete some of these missions, let me give you an example. And it would be something, these are buildings, here we go. So if you manage to complete, these are special ones, but as an example, you put 2 people on here. If the mission succeeds, you get some extra bonuses. I'll just see, oh, and this is a little dice kind of dropper. Now, if you've played Camel Up, you'll be familiar with dispensing things in that way, which is fine. But having said that, the way you dispense them, they can kind of get stuck. So that seems quite a nice, different way of doing it. Can't see any elastic bands in this. These are the boards you start off with. So there's 5 players, as I said. Like Terraforming Mars, you can play it solo. Of all the games I've played solo, it was one of the first that I really thought was really good. I played it multiple times, and it's a quick game, it's at 40 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see how long this takes to play, just out of curiosity, compared to playing with other players. So this is where you're going to keep your pool, and this is, I believe, what you start off with. And when you're collecting these little devices down here, you can then collect these 2. And as I mentioned, those little red dudes, spend 1, and you're reducing someone else's die roll. So those are the 5 you're rolling out initially, and then you're going to choose to place them, but you place individually. So that pretty much covers the majority of what the game's about. I'll do it properly though, just so you get a full understanding. And yeah, look forward to discovering the objective cards, which again might be in a different kind of format, or something else that was bumped and thus isn't in the retail version. So thank you very much for watching. Only one thing left to do, and that is the weighing. So let me just chuck everything back in. What you could be looking to do is trying to improve the sort of dudes that you have from those Pioneers up to your choice. Obviously going for red, it makes it very aggressive. In our last game, only 1 person did it. I think it was the first one we played, and that was probably why we a bit hesitant. You can choose to manage to increase your die roll if you chuck on a Pioneer. So you chuck on loads of Pioneers. That's quite effective as well. You can also do a few other actions, but they do cost some kind of ability as well. So as you can see, they're quite cheap to get the blue guys. Purple's more expensive, but certain cards do require certain things. So over here, to get this building, you're going to need 2 red guys. And like games like Stone Age, you need to be feeding them. So I've mentioned a number of games that you might take inspiration from or consider are to a degree similar to this game. It's nothing like those games. It's dice placement, I guess you could say, is Stone Age, but I think Coimbra is the closest thing. With Coimbra though, I found there are more actions or things you end up doing in a turn than there are rounds, and I think for me that stilts it and slows it down. So this still has some weight to it, so carrying it, I mean, it'll still fit inside my laptop bag, and we'll see how much it weighs. I've still got a couple of bags to chuck on top, so I'll do that once this is on. But this is the Artemis Project, and similar to kind of what I expected, it is 124 grams. Keep it there for the metric market. So thank you very much. This is the Artemis Project, and I look forward to telling you more in another video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.